We can look for an 80% chance of occasional showers and maybe a thunderstorm this morning. Showers are also likely this afternoon with a high right around 75 degrees. And we're looking at about a tenth up to a quarter of an inch of precipitation. Tonight, the rain chance is 20%. Look for patchy fog overnight and a low of 65.
This is the award-winning broadcast of Healthy University, bringing health and vitality to you and your family, brought to you by Scotland County Hospital in Memphis. Now, here's your host, Dr. Randy Tobler.
Doctor, my eyes have seen the years and the slow parade of fears without crying. Now I want to understand.
Good morning. Welcome to Healthy You, along with Bob Wilson and Lisa back from assignment. I'm Dr. Randy Tobler. Thanks for joining us here. Nice to get a little rain, a little cool down. This is a more normal summer.
I
for a change.
was going to look for my umbrella this morning, and I decided, what the heck? I just go with it.
Yeah, it's nice to get wet now and then.
Yeah, and it makes everybody... Have you noticed how everyone's, like, upbeat this morning and a little more happy?
People
People
are in a better mood.
And the weather's just been so nice. The temperature even is it's just been awesome.
It's good.
Yeah, it's almost like autumn.
So what's been going on in your world?
Oh, a whole bunch
been busy?
of different things. Yeah, just all
That's
kinds
good.
of things going on. And the prenatal classes even is one.
That's
of
right.
them.
Last night was session one.
Yeah,
correct?
and you can still go, ladies, tonight. Bring your families with you.
And dads.
And dads, yeah. It starts at 7 in the evening, goes till 9. There's absolutely no charge for it. And if you, whether or not you're delivering at Scotland County Hospital, you are more than welcome to come to this class. And there's no charge. You'll get a tour of the Women's Center. You'll get a whole bunch of really, really good information. And get to be with the professionals that are involved with the birth can be involved with the birth of your baby.
Last night was intro, and I think nursing spent some time with them. And tonight is meet the doctors, meet anesthesia.
Awesome.
I'll be there. Dr. Bridget Cormier will be there. I think Michael Browning from anesthesia will be there.
Everybody wants to meet the anesthetist.
Oh, always the most popular guy in the house. There's no doubt about it. And that starts at when tonight for the second session?
7
and if you didn't make last night, you're welcome to come tonight. There's no rules.
And you come to parking lot A. That's the North Hospital entrance. It'll be right there when you come through the doors, right where they're going to have it at. And
whether you plan on delivering here or not, you're always welcome to come.
Absolutely, and you're encouraged to be here.
Right.
Also, another thing is the 5K run, 1.5 mile. It's a run and walk. It's Saturday, August 24th, which is Antique Fair Saturday. The actual race itself starts at 8 in the morning, but the registration starts at 7. It's over on the east side of the square, as always, brought to you by Scotland County Hospital Employee Wellness Committee and a large group of business and professional people in Memphis and in Scotland County, plus a whole host of volunteers. The entry fee is $15 before the 15th of August. After that, it's $20. The family, same household, is $35 before the 15th and $40 after the 15th. But all school-aged children, K through 12, have one price, $10, and that's any time between now and the actual race day. There's overall male 5K, overall female 5K, top 3 in age groups, oldest participant, youngest self-propelled participant, the largest household. And if you participate, you will be registered. And if you are registered, you have a chance to win the drawing for family membership to Scotland County Recplex, for running shoes, for cash prizes, gift certificates. And the other thing is, if you'll check on Scotland County Hospital's website on the home page, you'll see it right in the middle of the page, a big blue 5K. Right underneath that, if you click on that, it opens up the registration page, and you can actually print that off, fill it out, and you'll be ready to go that Saturday morning on August 24th.
So you just bring that with you to the event, right?
Yep, you're already done.
All right.
That's awesome.
Good news. Good news. That'll be a lot of fun. That grows every year. I know it's a big event. So
Absolutely
it's super
does.
good.
It gets bigger and bigger, and
We filled the square, the east side of the square last year
Wow.
with strollers and walkers and
Yep.
joggers and
all kinds of people over there. The other thing is Certified Cardiac Rehab Center Roadshow. That's a community seminar with Chrissy Siegfried, RN, supervisor of our Certified Cardiac Rehab Center, and myself, and we will appear at Knox County Nutrition Site on August the 7th, starting at 11. And then if you missed that one, you can pick us up over at Schuyler County at the Nutrition Site over there Wednesday, August 14th. That also starts at 11 that morning.
And let's do a shout out for Clark County Back to School Bash Thursday.
Right.
And I believe it's at the Care Building. Scotland County Hospital will be there from 1 to 4 on Thursday in Cahokia.
Awesome.
Come out and see us. We will have Band-Aid kits for your backpack, health information, hospital information, smiles on our faces, and ready to greet you with information about your local hospital.
Do you have any extra Band-Aids?
What did you
We
do?
do.
Oh, I see that.
Well,
one.
I have an old Ford 4000, a 64 tractor.
You did not.
And the carburetor, it was acting up. It wouldn't climb the hill and run the brush hog at the same time, sort of spittering and
that's a
sputtering.
problem.
And not being a real technical whiz, I figured, well, there's a little thing there around the carburetor, and I figured if I play with it, maybe, and I did. I got it to work better,
Yeah.
but I think my knuckle hit the manifold.
You-
Oh.
Yeah, a little barbecued knuckle. So I got a little burn.
And
But all I did, I just keep
Isn't
it
that
clean.
a delicacy in Tahiti
It's
or
good,
something?
yeah.
Barbecue
So I keep
knuckle?
it clean with soap and water, and I use a little triple antibiotic ointment
and you
a
did
couple
the,
times a day.
You did the quick jerk.
Yeah. Oh, it's good to know you can still move quickly as you get older. That's good. Now, in a little bit of some housekeeping here concerning, you always like to know what's going on with us. I know people tell me, hey, we like hearing about, your lives, and Bud and Elisa and Randy. Now, Elisa, we understand, is going to, when's the next Summer Olympics? Is that coming up? Is that next year, I think in 2014, or is that the Winter Olympics then?
I would
No,
just-
winter was in London. No, winter was in summer last year.
Summer
was
in London, 'cause
London.
the Cormiers
so
went.
this will be
Yeah.
winter this year, I guess. So,
It will be cold.
but I understand that you, Elisa Kiger, are warming up because you want to be in the Acapulco cliff diving contest.
Ooh.
Because we understand on your recent trip to, is that okay to say, where you were on assignment down in Branson, right? That you actually did some cliff diving. Wow. Do you have any video of that we could post on the website?
Jim Kiger decided to stay in the boat, A,
Oh,
to videotape, and B, collect the life insurance.
I'm thinking, now, folks, if you'd like to see a video of Elisa cliff diving on her recent sojourn to the Ozarks, I think you ought to somehow let us know on the website. What do you think? By popular request, do you think we could know?
Yeah, you can get the email.
I leave
on
the
there.
county to wear a swimsuit for obvious reasons.
Well, at least the kids. We could at least
Yes.
have the kids on there. That'd be
Yeah,
fun to see
that's
them. I
great.
mean, I've seen those cliffs, and I'm thinking, I'm not doing that. But you're courageous, and you climbed the cliffs. Your core strength is better than you thought.
You
That's
know,
right.
and I that's exactly,
That's great.
I said, I don't think I've got the core strength to do this, but I
Takes a lot to do
strapped
that.
on the Keen sandals really tight and
That's great.
did climb to the top of it.
Now, when
Had
you
a
hit
great
the
time.
water, was it an
It's pretty
owie on
rough.
your bottom?
It's
I
pretty
mean,
rough.
that's what,
you
25
definitely
feet,
need
you
to keep
said?
your legs together and your
Yeah.
body straight.
Wow.
In fact, I had a Velcro watch on
Yeah.
it. It ate my watch. And
Reminds me of the first time I ever went down one of those tube slides at the water
very
park.
similar. Very
They didn't
similar.
tell me to keep my legs together as you hit the water. I was singing alto for the next 3 weeks. How'd you like it? My wife said, how'd you like it? Oh, it was a great ride.
A lot of fun. Good
Yeah,
vacation.
but that was fun. That sounds like and that's crystal clear water there at Table Rock.
Beautiful.
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous lake. So that's cool. Glad you had a good time. That's good. And we're glad you're back, too. We missed you. In just a couple minutes, we're going to bring our special guest on. And she is, I like the name of her organization. It's called Giving Back, a nonprofit dedicated to improving the lives of elders through intergenerational mentoring. I mean, I guess that like getting along with people younger than you, right? And she has a lot of certifications, educational kinesiologist. That's the science of movement. Natural vision improvement instructor. Wow. Work on the muscles of the eye. Touch for health instructor and a massage therapist.
Yep.
So, she's going to be joining. Her name is Karen Peterson, and it's all about move it or lose it. And so the goal would be to join Elisa on her next cliff dive and climb the cliffs. Climb the cliffs with Elisa. Are there any cliffs in the river down here in the Fabi? Are there any? Well, you wouldn't want to dive into that river.
No,
That'd
I
be
think
a
it's mud
hard
banks.
landing.
Yeah.
No,
No,
not good.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not good.
Or if you landed feet first, you'd be forever stuck there, like a statue, right, buried up to your knee in the clay bottom. But anyway, we're going to talk with her, and it's interesting because there's a story in USA Today. The lead story talks about how our communities are going to be aging. In 2015, 15% of communities of the nation will be elder over 65, and just a few years later, it'll be 22%.
No, it's the baby boomer thing.
Right, and so I think as we get older, it's so important to keep moving and to move in proper ways and protective ways, so you don't fall, go boom, and break something, because that can be devastating. So joining us in just a few minutes, Karen Peterson, therapist with multiple certifications, and we're going to talk about moving it or losing it.
Yes,
okay.
Indeed.
I'll buy you
More coming up on Healthy You. It's 16 after the hour.
If it makes you feel alright, I'll get you anything, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. 'Cause I don't care too much for money, 'cause money can't buy me love. Give you all I got to give if you say you love me too. I may not have a lot to give, but what I got I'll give to you. I don't care too much for money, 'cause money can't buy me love, can't buy me love. Well, everybody tells me so. You can't buy me love. No, 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 no.
I'm Bill Pollock, Missouri Net Sports Director. Jump on our website, MissouriNet.com, and listen to my Press Box podcast as we cover all the top stories in Missouri. With Press Box podcast, you won't get the same stories that everyone else is covering. You'll get unique angles and interviews from big-time guests like Missouri head coach Gary Pinkel, NASCAR drivers, people within the Cardinals organization, and much more. So go to MissouriNet.com, find the Press Box podcast, and start listening today. Your state, your news, Missouri Net.
Are you the manager?
Yes.
You're going to be the coach too?
Yes.
And you know the fellow's name?
Oh, I should.
Well, then who's on first?
Yes.
I mean the fellow's name.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who?
The first baseman.
Who?
The guy playing
Who
first.
is on first?
I'm asking you who's on first.
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
That's it.
That's who?
Yes.
I mean, what's the guy's name on first base?
No, what is on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
I don't know.
Oh, he's on third. We're not talking about him. Now let's forget about it.
Baseball season is here. For complete coverage of Cardinals and Royals baseball, visit MissouriNet.com.
The Western Illinois Threshers 46th Annual Craft Show and Flea Market is August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in Hamilton, Illinois. This year's tractor features a Ford Ferguson. Purchase a ticket to win a Ford Ferguson 2-end tractor. The Wayland, Iowa Antique Club ride will be arriving mid-afternoon on Thursday. Games start at 9 a.m. on Friday with a ribeye steak dinner served at 6 p.m. Friday evening. Admission is at $5 button for age 12 and over, which is good for all 3 days. That's the Western Illinois Threshers Craft Show and Flea Market in Hamilton, Illinois. Come find your treasure at the area's newest antique store, Twila's Treasures, located at 106 South Marion Street off the southwest corner of the square in Lancaster. Twila's Treasures has something for everyone, including toys, dolls, kitchen and household items, collectibles, records, and books, just to name a few. Can't find what you're looking for? Twila can search around and help you find it. Be sure and stop in at their open house on Thursday, August the 1st, and Friday, August the 2nd, from 1 to 3 on both days. That's Twila's Treasures off the southwest corner of the square in Lancaster.
Did you know volunteering can be fun? Community service is for everyone. Young people, families, men, women. As a volunteer, you'll help your community and gain valuable skills. Network with others. Energize your life. Make an impact and have fun. Get in step with your community. Volunteer. Visit www.lionsclubs.org.
1-800-222-1222. 1-800-222-1222. If you think it might be poison, then the first thing you should do is call 1-800-222-1222.
For poison emergencies or just questions, the Poison Control Center hotline is here 24/7 with the expert help you need.
If you think it might be poison and you don't know what to do, call 1-800-222-1222. 1-800-222-1222.
A message from your Poison Control Center.
You and I are just like a couple of tots running around the meadow, picking up all those forget-me-nots. You make me feel so young. You make me feel there are songs to be sung, bells to be rung, and a wonderful fling to be flung. And even when I'm old and gray, I'm gonna feel the way I do today, 'cause you make me feel so young. You make me young.
My co-host, radio partner Bud Wilson, has an uncanny ability of choosing bumper music that's so appropriate for the guest spot and the topic. Well, we're going to talk with Karen Peterson. I know her mission is to help oldsters feel young, and that's really what it's about. You don't have to feel old just because you're getting a few years on you. How you doing, Karen? Thanks for joining us.
Fine, Dr. Tobler. I'm doing great.
And joining us from Hawaii. You have to rub it in, huh? Hawaii. Wow. Which island are you on?
Maui.
Maui. Great. North or south?
Well, of what?
Are you up in was it Ka'anapali or down in down?
Oh no, I'm actually on the North Shore.
The North Shore.
Yeah, the windward side.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a gorgeous, gorgeous place. We spent a nice anniversary there a few years ago and had just a great time. And boy, I gotta tell you, it makes you feel young just to be on the beaches of Hawaii. I'm looking at your website here in a beautiful beach picture. I guess that's of Hawaii, huh?
Yeah.
And the website is movewithbalance.org, and I think that really summarizes what we'd like to talk about, and that is making sure that as we age healthily, because the statistics are staggering, aren't they, concerning the risk of falls in seniors and what those mean when you fall. Why don't you summarize that a little bit, because the numbers are staggering.
I know. 1 in 3 seniors experiences a significant fall each year. Every 18 seconds, a senior is admitted to the emergency room after losing balance and hitting the ground. Or every 35 minutes, an elderly person dies from a fall, the leading cause of death for seniors.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people realize that if you fall and break your hip, and if you have osteoporosis and you have imbalance and the deadly perfect storm for that fall that cracks a hip, there's a pretty significant fatality rate from that even in the first year, and it's a bad news deal, like approaching 20-25% depending on what study you look at, and it doesn't have to be that way, does it?
No, and that's what I think people kind of have this image that older people are going to fall no matter what, but both you and I know that it can be preventable.
So we were just talking about earlier before we came on the break, that core strength. And I have to think we would all admit that at 20 in our 20s, we had far more core strength than we have in our 40s, 50s, and 60s. What type of relationship does that have in terms of elderly? I know it has a lot to do with balance when it comes to fall, but how can they keep that core strength strong if they would try to catch themselves a fall? What's your prescription for keeping core strength when you're 20, 30, 40 and on up the age bracket?
Well, one exercise that you just reminded me of that we do is called the cat jump. And that would be like I'm squatting down a little bit, and I jump lightly off the ground, and I land just like a cat. I imagine what a cat lands like, just softly, elegantly, and I get that feeling into my muscles so that if I'm out and I start to fall, I don't just jar my joints and my bones. At least I have experienced that kind of cat-like, elegant movement. That's just one of the exercises we use.
So are you talking about bending at the knees and the hips, like almost like you would do a squat and then lift, or just slightly bend?
Yeah, it's like doing a squat, which of course strengthens your legs, and then just jumping off the ground. Now, somebody who's 95 might not be able to jump off the ground, but just the movement of their body coming up from the squat and then landing back down.
And how many times does someone need to do that in a day or in a set so many times a day to really, maximize the benefit?
You wouldn't have to. I don't have the program like that, like you have to do it 10 times a day or something, because people really get tired of it when you say that they have to do a certain amount a day like that. But it's just, the program is usually 10 weeks long, and each of the frail elders has a partner, and we do about an hour's worth of exercises. And they're not like fitness exercises exactly. They're more specific movements that integrate the brain and the body and get you in a state of focus. They get you in a state of learning and balance. So some of them are strength training, like the core strength that you first asked me about. But other ones are more like using the right and left side of the body at the same time. Now, that seems simple, but, that kind of marching movement where you lift your left leg and your right arm and you're kind of marching, you would be surprised at how many people really can't do that. And if I ask them to do that, they lift up the same side of the body. And they think that they're doing it. Well, that totally throws you off balance if you're used to just using one side of the body. So when we would get that integration happening, and that brings them more into a state of balance.
That's what I was going to ask. When you do an opposite arm with the opposite leg, that's the strength building for that balance that you're talking about. When you do the opposites, okay.
So
yes,
so it's the integration of the thinking and the moving at the same time that really helps protect you against falls. That's an interesting concept. Now, we're talking with Karen Peterson. She's a therapist with multiple certifications, author of Move with Balance, Healthy Aging Activities for Brain and Body. You can visit her online at movewithbalance.org. She's won several prestigious awards, including the Educational Kinesiology Award, Mind Alert Award, Mutual of America Foundation. Wow, finalist there. Genius of Aging on Channel 9 in Honolulu. Wow, that's great. So, and it's really important. Now, how do you feel about things like Tai Chi and other ways of gaining balance? Are you into that at all? Yeah,
that's good too. Standing up and the weight shifts that you do in Tai Chi. We kind of do Tai Chi-like movements. Some of our activities are, but it's not like a whole set of activities like Tai Chi is. And I think some of the frailer ones can't do Tai Chi because they can't really stand up and do activities.
I broke into a little spontaneous Tai Chi routine of my own when Elisa said you were going to be on the air the other day. She wanted to take me to the ER for admission to the psych ward, but it's okay. I mean, I can still do that. That's good.
I wanted to give you an example of that one I was talking about when you're using the opposite sides of your body. Okay, so let's say you could do that sitting if you were quite frail.
Okay.
You could do that standing. You could lift up your leg a little bit, or you could really lift your knees up high and be like marching. So it's very adaptable. Okay, then what you could do to really challenge your balance, and I think this is different than other programs, you have your eyes move in different directions. Even the turn of a head makes your vestibular system and your whole balance system have to work. If I decide to look at the ceiling while I'm doing this marching, and then if they get good at that, then we might have them count backwards from 100 by threes while they do the movement. So you're constantly bringing yourself to a higher level of being able to do the activity, challenging yourself, and your whole system loves that type of, scene where you're totally engaged, and it brings in your focus and your concentration and everything.
Karen, this is extremely interesting to me. On your website, I saw and I noticed the cognitive aspect of these exercises when you're doing these things in combination. Is not something that people actually would normally do, even in their daily routines. This is different, something unusual for them. So how does that work for us older folks?
Well, it just, I guess, it's called really sensory motor integration. So you're challenging and using all the senses as much as possible while you're doing these activities.
We had a speaker 2 or 3 weeks ago that was actually in autism.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, remember she used that term. She uses that type of treatment with her autistic students.
And so have I.
Okay, yes, we learned that term 2 weeks ago with our speaker, with Davy Heine. She mentioned that.
That's right. That's exactly right. And that is where you're getting all systems working again closely, integrated, we might say.
I'm looking at pictures of all these happy people, I guess, at your seminars. Here's a picture of two people looking at a piece of paper that has hearts and squares and numbers and X's and triangles and circles and stars. What are they doing?
Well, some of the activities, I'll just give you, it's a little hard, not there in person with you to show you. But let's say some of them are like, they have a line down the middle and an R and an L on either side of that line. Okay? So the R and the L indicate which hand to use. The line down the middle is you have to see which hand is tapping which knee.
Oh.
So so if the R is on the left side of the line, that means I take my right hand and hit my left knee.
Oh.
And so in the beginning, when you do this, so what you have to do is read this line. So you're using your vision, and you're having to comprehend reading, like, left to right.
Sure.
And they're coming down and reading the next line. Then you have to be able to interpret the symbol, decide which hand to use, and then which leg to tap. So in the beginning, people are really slow and kind of choppy when they do this.
Yeah.
But then after you practice and get good at it, and the idea is to be able to go like...
Wow.
See, you do it in rhythm, and just in like a rhythm. Maybe that was a little...
No, I understand. This particular picture was like a clock face, so it sounds like there's a lot of... Could this feel daunting to where people like spontaneously combust if they work too hard on this and feel bad that they can't keep up with you, or do you sort of ease into it at everyone's?
Part of my job and is to have them doing it at their own pace.
Yeah.
And nobody feels bad if they can't. And here's the other thing that's really been interesting. It seems that people in general like to only do things if they're going to be good at it.
Yes. That's
and
me.
They don't want to do something. Well, I don't know how to do this. I don't want to show people in public that I don't know how to do this.
Which is why I don't dance, because that's why guys don't dance. Guys want to do things right, and they get self-conscious about it. They don't want to do that.
That's the exact thing that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, but in this program, we want things that you're not good at, and I always say, if you were already good at this, I wouldn't be bringing it in here, because that's when we're learning. That's when we're taxing our system to get together and work.
So it's pushing your boundaries, and that's what it's about. Karen, can you hang with us from Long Lines from Hawaii over the break?
Say that again?
Well, can you stay with us over the break?
Sure.
Okay, because I will invite our listeners to grab a couple of bean bags or a facsimile thereof, because when we come back, Karen Peterson, founder of Giving Back and proprietor of website movewithbalance.org, will tell you how to do I'm not going to give it away, but just suffice it to say you need a couple of bean bags. These pictures on your website, movewithbalance.org, there's people dancing, and you're not like smoking funny Hawaiian herbs when you're doing this, are you?
No.
It looks like one of the IRS line dancing pictures we've seen recently, but it looks like happy people, and Karen makes for happiness as she mentors people as they feel young as they get older. We'll be back with Karen Peterson here on Healthy You. Stay there.
I cried a river.
Since 1987, Radio Iowa has provided you with the best state news and sports reports each morning and afternoon through affiliated stations, just like this one. That's a lot of reports. In fact, in the past 25 years, Radio Iowa has delivered over 120,000 daily news and sports programs. 120,000. And that's not even counting the ones we've done today. Radio Iowa. 120,000 reports and counting. Your state, your news. Radio Iowa.
Imagine a fire burning in your home with your family fast asleep. Smoke and heat intensify quickly, Every second counts. How will everyone escape? Without a plan, you may not know the best route to safety. Create an escape plan and make sure everyone in your home practices it. Plan 2 routes of escape from every room and designate a meeting place outside of the home. Remember, get out and stay out. This message is brought to you by the United States Fire Administration, your local fire department, and this radio station.
Any person that is required to have a hunting, fishing, or trapping permit is also required by the Wildlife Code to carry that permit and picture identification on their person. Agents can check these privileges by calling the permit system. However, you are in violation if you do not have a permit to show the agent during a compliance check. Before you leave the house to go fishing this summer, make sure you remember to grab that fishing permit and keep it with you at all times. This has been Missouri Conservation Agent Shannon Smith.
Listening to the radio, driving in your car. Radio gets results. Radio is there no matter where you are. Radio gets results. When you need to get your message through, people really do listen to you. Coming through loud and clear, no matter what you're telling, no matter what you're selling, everyone will hear. Radio gets results. Radio gets results. Radio gets results. Radio gets results. That's radio.
Other arms reach out to me. Other eyes smile tenderly. Still in peaceful dreams I see the road leads back to you. Oh, Georgia, Georgia.
Welcome back to Healthy You. Thanks for staying with us. 23 till the hour. We talk with Karen Peterson. MoveWithBalance.org is the website. If you have a chance, check it out. Lots of happy people learning to stay balanced so they don't fall. Bud, you had a question regarding this whole
Karen, I was going
movement.
to ask you about the buddy pairing. I thought that was a really neat idea because, like, when people first start out in this program, it's exactly like you said, they're new, and so so they're going to need a little bit of help, and a lot of people maybe after they've been in the program and go back home and they're trying stuff, it's good. Be a real good idea for somebody to be there that's not just watching what they're doing, but who is actually involved in it, right?
That's exactly right. So what I did, I first was teaching this to seniors myself, and then I felt that all of these seniors really should be involved in learning this so they can bring it back to the community. So then I started to teach, and I called them mentors, the more mobile young seniors to be mentors. And then when we'd go into like an assisted living site where the more frail ones were, they each had a partner. And that worked really well because then the mentor created a safe environment so that the more frail one had someone there right next to them so that they could relax into it. They also, became friends, so they looked forward to seeing each other each week and bonded together. So that's part of the whole thing.
And it'd be encouraging too.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to think, what were you seeing for outcomes? How's that going for people?
Well, that particular assisted living that I was just imagining and thinking about, I had the head of our Department of Health here do a study, and he did this independent evaluation where he measured all this with the treatment group and the control group and did a full-on study which showed 38% fewer falls with the people that had done the Move with Balance program.
Now that's impressive.
Yeah, and that article is going to be published in the Hawaii Medical Journal. So I think that's going to really open up people's eyes and get it more known. Because, I'm out here in this little island, right? And I want everybody to know about it.
Sure, absolutely.
If you're just joining us, we're talking with Karen Peterson. You can hear the passion in her voice about helping put seniors back in the game, and that's the name of the book, Move It or Lose It, moves to put seniors back in the game. Healthy aging activities for brain and body, actually, the name of the book. Now, before we get to the beanbag, make sure you have your beanbags or a facsimile thereof, because we're going to do that. You mentioned something about socialization, Karen, and how these activities, whether it's in a group or just with a buddy, does tend to bring that in. And that's something that as people age, we live in an ever more youth idolizing society. People are shunned as they get older, and this really helps connect people with one another. And that socialization, I guess, is the third tripod of that healthy stool, cognitive, movement, and socialization.
Right. And so when I've really, you had mentioned earlier Giving Back, and that's the name of the nonprofit organization that all this takes place in. And the title, Giving Back, is the opportunity for younger mobile seniors to give back to the community. So that's what they're being trained and set up to do. And the program first actually had the seniors going out and doing many of these activities with children. And it helped.
Wow.
Wow, that
sure.
sounds
That's just good for the soul.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I was approached by a group here, and they said, well, could your program ever work with frail elders? So I said, well, let's try it. And that's the one I personally turned out to love the most, was taking the younger seniors to work with the frail elders and to see, their faces and how they loved it and everything, and the strides they made in improvement. So that's, I still like the kid one, but that's kind of the one that's dear to my heart.
Okay, Karen, let's go through. I do need to clarify the beanbag. We are talking not the large seat beanbag, Dr. Tobler.
No,
that would be like a circus act.
No
to juggle
beanbag
those.
chairs.
No
Small
beanbag
beanbag.
chairs.
Yeah, no
Small
catastrophes.
beanbags. And this is an honest story. About 2 months ago, our therapy department made a request to our auxiliary. They sew during the wintertime and said, can you make us some small bean bags? I think they filled them with rice. And they needed them, and you order them out of a therapy product book, and they were, $12 a bean bag. And these ladies up at the auxiliary that sew every week, they had scraps of fabric and whipped them up in less than 10 minutes. And so our auxiliary donated a whole bunch of bean bags to the therapy department for what I believe, when I look in the therapy department as I walk by, is this pretty close to the same exercise.
That's
that
right.
you
That's exactly right.
we want you to go over that with us over the radio.
Okay.
So we have seniors, we have middle-aged folks, we have lots of folks in the audience today that are sitting in their recliners and are feeling empowered by a few things that we have said this morning in order to get their blood flowing, their core strength moving.
And don't forget those people who are having a hard time finding a job. The circus may need you too.
Okay.
If you do this real successfully, you never know.
You may have
little
a job
juggling
in this,
thing
yes.
going on.
And especially if you were to put 3 beanbag chairs together.
Oh, wow.
Holy cow!
Holy cow.
That was just cold, Doc.
And then if you could do it and pack like 20 of those beanbags in a little small VW and come as you could. Never mind.
With
Let's get to
a
it.
red nose stuck to your face. Okay, Karen, walk us through the double beanbag catch. If they don't have beanbags with them right now, can they grab an apple? Can they grab a ball of pantyhose wrapped up?
Oh, yeah, something.
But Bud's grabbing his pantyhose now. He's got them all wadded up here. He's going to do that.
Okay, a ball of socks. A ball of socks. What else can we use here? I'm trying to get everybody prepped here.
Crumpled up newspaper.
Crumpled up newspaper.
yeah.
Let's get everybody prepped here. If we don't have bean bags that the auxiliary ladies have made us so nicely during their sewing.
How about an egg?
Well,
No?
then you
Not a
Oh.
good idea.
Well, that sort of ups the ante a little bit.
That's the Easter egg.
The
If
stakes
it
are.
was, yeah.
Karen, you said to push ourselves. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
No,
but
okay.
then I'd
So
have
we're
to
going
get
to
down.
start easy, though. First,
Okay.
You might start with one bean bag and
There you go.
throw it up
Well, that
and catch
makes
it
sense.
with the right hand and
Yeah.
see how you do before we just throw you into 2 bean bags.
Okay.
Okay? Then let's say I can do that. Now I'm going to put the bean bag in my left hand, throw it up and catch it. But I'm going to follow it with my eyes. So what I'm working on here, too, is just reaction time, just throwing something up and catching it, following it with my eyes, all these different things that are helping with balance. Let's say I'm going to sit first when I do it. If I get good at I'm going to stand up. See, so that's a whole different thing. Now, let's say now I have 2 bean bags, one in each hand. I throw them up, watch with my eyes, and then catch them in the same hand.
Together at the same time?
Yeah, at the same time.
Dr. Tobler just did it with the salt and pepper shaker in here.
shaker.
He's doing
Here we go.
the salt and pepper shake.
Is that working?
It's working. He's following
Except
it with
one
his
of them's
eye.
lighter than the other, so it makes it a little
Okay.
weird. Yeah.
But he's following it with his eyes.
Okay.
We haven't hit the microphone yet.
He
We
hasn't
haven't
tried the
salted and
walking
peppered the
part
floor
yet.
yet.
Okay, now the walking part is when
Okay.
you can do that.
We're working on it here.
Then-
Give us just a minute.
We're
Okay, here we go.
clearing space
Okay.
for him.
It's
that-
working.
And
Yeah,
not
that's
fast.
pretty good.
Not fast walking.
Not
Walk
fast.
Slowly.
Okay, now
Throw
he's
the beanbags up and catch them.
It's working for him. He did try the cat jump. That didn't work while he was juggling the salt and pepper shaker.
Tried to do the cat jump and the salt and pepper shaker. That didn't work out too well.
How about walking backwards now?
I don't know
Throwing
about
the
that.
beanbags up. You see how this is working on
Yeah.
concentration?
Yeah.
Very good.
And it's involving several different things all
Yep.
at once. And if
Right.
And it's a bit aerobic too. I notice I'm breathing a little
Yeah.
harder just doing that.
That's
Yeah.
right. It doesn't seem like it's aerobic.
No.
People do break out in a sweat.
It's the concentration.
concentration.
Yeah, it's the
Yep.
tension. Yeah.
You know, I was standing.
And
yes.
You could add counting backwards to this one too if you wanted.
I was just standing on one leg and had my arm, the opposite arm in the air, and looked at the ceiling and did the count backwards by
Yeah.
3
Yep.
just a little
Yes.
while ago before a break.
Yep.
And I did that to like in the 70s.
Uh-huh.
And then I like let everything down, and my heart rate
Yes.
was up, and I needed to catch, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just standing there holding my balance and counting
Right.
backwards. But I
And
got my
Bud
heart
tells
rate.
us he's going to count backwards in Farsi during the break, so it'll be very interesting. See how that works.
But,
You know-
but can you see how connected
Oh, yes.
you feel in doing
Absolutely.
these activities? You can really feel your brain and body. You're
You're right.
totally in the present moment.
Yes,
Focused.
that's
And you
true.
don't have to be doing full out high impact aerobics.
No.
No.
You could be
That's
sitting in your
why
chair.
The frail ones,
See,
the frail ones can
Karen,
do it at their level, and the other ones need to be constantly challenged.
I think I see this as an interesting step because what we've been told, young and old, is do not sit around. Get up
Yep.
and get moving. Well, this is part of an integral system, I think. This is a bridge from sitting on the sofa all day to getting to the point where you are moving around again, and it's a good starting spot to be able to do that.
And a good starting spot is now you're sitting on the sofa all day. Sit on the edge of the sofa, sit on the edge of your chair, and put that right hand to the left knee, left hand to the right knee. Do that. Then
And lift up your foot off the ground
And lift-
as high as you can.
There
You
we
could leave
go.
it flat on the ground and not even lift it up. But if you're lifting it up, that's more.
But you could move into that. If you just started slow, you could
Yep.
eventually move into that, get the circulation going, then look at the ceiling. I can't do that count backwards by 3. That's just my math. That's my shortcomings in math.
You have to learn that. That's why you would be maybe shy and embarrassed and that you couldn't do it, but everybody is in the same boat, so we also have a lot of laughs while we're trying to do these things.
Now, I'm looking on your tips part here. You have a little tips tool page here, and it's got the double beanbag catch. You're illustrating. Is that you in the picture there?
No, that is one of the mentors, Eloise is her
Eloise.
name,
And you have many mentors now that you're training to be trainers of trainers and on and on. So that's great.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we've had a delightful and practically applicable little segment here with you, and really appreciate you being with us all the way from the long lines by Hawaii. And we want to commend you folks to listen or look at the Move with Balance website, movewithbalance.org, not .com, but .org, because Karen Peterson has really done some great work here. And heck, this would be a fun thing maybe for people to get started in their own community, huh? And start a little...
Well, like in the tips section there where you're looking, somebody bought a copy for their library, and now they're holding sessions in their library.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, there's you have a
somebody
workbook.
called me
Yeah.
from Honolulu and wanted to start something in her church. And of course there's younger seniors and older seniors right together, and kids too can join in. And that's really an important part, because children can do a lot of these activities with the grandparents.
Now, I'm a PR lady, so I also want to mention National Fall Prevention Day. Does anybody know when National Fall Prevention Day is this fall?
I don't want to prevent fall. I like when it comes around. The leaves change.
Lots of
Oh, you
therapy
mean falling
departments
on your
celebrate
bottom. Oh.
National Fall Prevention Day
Yeah.
is
First
the
day of
first day of fall. So what better time to get started on a group in your town through this project or any other balance projects?
Awesome.
When is that day?
It will be September 21st or 20th. I'm not very good with
Okay.
the
Well, we'll think of
calendar.
Karen Peterson and movewithbalance.org.
Very good.
On the first day of fall. Karen, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Someday I hope to get up and see you. Hey, do you know Belinda Lee? She's an artist there in Maui.
No.
No?
No, I don't.
She does some great work. You ought to visit her gallery. We visited her and really struck up a
Was
conversation.
that in Kanapali?
Yeah, well, it's up in, I don't know, it's up on, I don't know what the name of what the road is, but it's a little side road there. But anyway, and she does great seascapes and landscapes and stuff. And she's from Kansas City and a breast cancer survivor too. So Belinda Lee, Leigh. And if you happen to run across her, tell her that Helene and Randy said hi. Okay?
Okay. I just want to mention one thing real quick, that besides the exercises written up in the book, there are 60 videos online that once you buy the book, you have access to see each of the exercises in a little video.
So if you have any, confusion in your mind
Yes.
about it, you can. Boy, a lot of us that are visual learners, that's really an important thing. So
Yeah, I think so.
Karen, fantastic work, and thank you for all of your great passion about mentoring our seniors to stay flexible and stay moving and cognitively integrated. And we thank you. Keep up the great work.
Thanks for having me.
All righty, take
Bye.
care.
I can see it in your eyes that you
So interesting stuff, huh? I don't think it would hurt for any of us to do that, no matter what age.
I'm just glad you didn't trip over the throw rug while you were doing that while ago.
Salt and pepper shoes.
Probably a good idea for everyone to do. I'll bet you if
I think
even you 30 and 40 something year olders out there, you try that, it may not come as easily as you think to do all that. And it's a little test, by the way, if you are adept at those kind of things, to make sure that you're at the level you need to be.
That's right.
Movewithbalance.org. Hey, we'll open up the phone lines now at 465-7225.
And 1-800-748-7875.
And when we come back, a story of sensationalism in medical news. And if you're a tall woman and you think you have a higher risk for cancer because of that, you may want to listen up. We'll be back.
No matter how safely you drive, you can't control other drivers. Thus, the patrol encourages motorists to protect themselves from all types of hazardous drivers by making sure everyone in the vehicle is properly restrained in a seat belt or a child restraint. Protect yourself and those you love. Click it for life. A message from Sergeant Brent Bernhardt of the Missouri State Highway Patrol and KMEM.
Hi, I'm Diane Caradu. I'm a senior Medicare Patrol volunteer. Our program, sponsored by Medicare and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, helps seniors learn to protect themselves from Medicare frauds and scams. For instance, if you're a Medicare beneficiary and you're approached with an offer of free medical equipment or services, watch out. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Call 1-800-MEDICARE to report it. And go to stopmedicarefraud.gov to find lots of useful tips and important information about new fraud-fighting tools that Medicare now has thanks to the healthcare law. New resources to help law enforcement crack down on criminals and return taxpayer dollars to the Medicare trust funds. And how you can get involved in the fight against fraud. Go to stopmedicarefraud.gov and help make Medicare stronger for all of us. A message from Medicare and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Can you tell if the leftovers from this dinner party are beginning to grow bacteria that could lead to severe diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach cramps? Listen. You can't see it either. Get leftovers into the refrigerator as soon as possible. Spoiled leftovers can make you very sick, or worse. Roughly 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year, but you can keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
stars when you shine. You know how I feel.
scent of the pine. You know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
We're back, and we have a few minutes left in the program. If you'd like to call us with a question or a concern, maybe you or someone you love or know has had a new diagnosis and looking for a little advice, would like to take that on. So give us a call at 465-7225 locally.
Or 1-800-748-7875 long distance.
If you live in Hawaii.
Yes, indeedy.
Well, it's gorgeous there. Wow, I looked at that beach and I thought, man, haven't had a vacation in over a year. I'm thinking it's time.
Yeah.
So, story...
well, you need to take a vacation.
Here from, yeah, that's what my wife's been saying. That's for another discussion. All right, senior epidemiologist at Yeshiva University, in a study that was published Thursday in the American Association for Cancer Research.
Oh, is this a
journal called Cancer Epidemiology, Biomarkers and Prevention. Looked at, this Women's Health Initiative study that we talk about.
Yes.
They look at the estrogens and all of it.
Was
It's
this
a
the
huge
nurses?
study. No, this is the Women's Health Initiative, different one.
Okay.
And it finds that there was a 13 to 17% hike in the risk of getting melanoma and cancers of the breast, ovary, endometrium, and colon, and about a 25 on average % hike in developing cancers of the kidney, rectum, thyroid, and blood for every 4-inch hike in your height if you're a woman. And they're not sure if it applies to men or not, but they're thinking that there may be some influence in early life. Either it's probably a combination of genetics, growth hormone, and maybe insulin levels. Who knows that produces increased growth in people. It's not just genetics that determines that.
Well, how many?
Along with hormonal influence, may have something to do in early life. But the bottom line is, remember that these cancers are very, very, very low anyway in their incidence. And a 4-inch jump in height, that's a pretty significant quantum leap.
Yeah.
So a lot of patients have called and said, wow, should I get screened for the... Well, you should have screening anyway for the things that need to be screened for.
Yeah.
And you should pay attention to signs and symptoms of whatever ails you, rather than deferring it. But the bottom line is, there's nothing you can do about your height. And you should always try to live a healthy lifestyle and try to minimize whatever risks you have. You can take any individual walking down the street and find that based on this or that study, that they have an increased risk of this or that disease.
Sure.
Which is why we do things like pap smears, and we do mammograms, and we do prostate exams, and we do colonoscopies.
Yes.
And so the bottom line is make sure that you talk with your doc if you have increased risks. If you're a Watutsi, 6'8", and you had a family history of breast, ovarian, or colon, or uterine, or renal cancer, obviously you may want to get some screening earlier. Mm-hmm. Try to get it paid for under government health care, but that's another issue because they have set guidelines, for ages.
Yeah.
But just be attentive to that and talk it over with your doc.
Prevention.
Yeah, but don't get scared about it. Can't live in fear.
No, but one of the things that I can't figure out how come whenever we have another study, like there's another study here about kids and choking hazards.
Yeah.
But you're right. Not everything applies to everybody, and aren't we all supposed to be getting taller anyway? Isn't that the general consensus?
In fact, the study suggests that height has increased since the 19th century. Nutrition, hygiene, vitamins, so forth. It's about the average height of a woman in the United States is. Got an idea?
5'7".
Wrong. 4. 5'4".
Oh,
I wouldn't have
like
thunk
a
it.
giantess with my Ewing jeans.
And that's up about an inch in the last few decades.
Wow.
Well, babies are getting bigger. We know that. They used to weigh on average 6.5, 6 3/4 pounds. Now 7 plus.
And they're
the average
longer, 21, 22 inches.
There you go.
Wow.
All right, hey, that wraps it up for today. Make sure you do your beanbag exercises
Or salt and pepper shakers.
or slap your knee on one hand. And I don't know, you remember the guy, was it Mac Davis, the old guy that did the ham boning?
Yeah.
Remember, that's what you can
Well,
do.
that's going to take some work.
That's right. I'm Dr. Randy Tobler, along with Bud Wilson and Lisa Kiger. Thanks for being with us this time. We'll see you next time on Healthy You. This week, be well, share it with someone you love, give them a beanbag, toss it back and forth. We'll see you next time.
You're listening to the best in area news, weather, and sports on America's Best Country, 100.5 KMEM Memphis, Missouri.